Good morning, it's Laura Coleman here from Be Modern Meditation. It's Monday morning and we are going to go live for some great balance this morning. Now, what a difference a day makes. If you're over here in the UK, it's been a glorious weekend of sunshine and warmth and really not feeling very like mid-September at all. And it's just been absolutely lovely. And for me, last week I realized that I had been pushing myself very hard. School had gone back, and I don't know if this is like anybody else can relate to this. I'd loaded myself up with all the things that I wanted to get done, and it was kind of like, yay, everybody's back. But of course, it's actually, there's a lot more emotion involved with everyone going back to school, not just for kids. If you haven't got kids even, I think there's a sense of September and this suddenly there's a shift, and there's a lot of uncertainty around, is there going to be a second wave of COVID? Are we, how's things going to shape up over the coming months? So yeah, it's been a really unbalanced time. And so for me this week, and actually the theme in my membership this month is balance. And oh, hello over there, hello whoever's with me live. I can see some eyes and I can't see who they are. So it really is, the theme for us this month is connection and balance. And so this week we're really looking at balance and the ways that we can use meditation to get back to balance. Morning, Judith. Yes, there is that push. There is. It's a real, and I think it's everybody. And I think, again, we're still in this quite shared experience that although our the way it manifests for us, it might be slightly different. We are essentially all still having the same experience, which is quite an unusual phenomenon going on in the world. So this morning's practice, we're going to do two things. Ultimately we're going to be aiming for balance, and we're going to do that. Hi Belinda. We're going to use our breath and we're going to use our body, two things that we always have with us, which makes them really accessible. And now very different people have different things that feel really comfortable for them. So if the breath is something, sometimes I used to get really annoyed with the breath in practices. I used to think, oh, I hate focusing on the breath. I used to find it really irritating. And that was interesting just to observe, actually, of like, what does this feel like for me? Some people love the breath and they think, oh yeah, I love concentrating on my breathing. And some people find focusing on the body really difficult. They kind of find it difficult to actually connect to their body in their, they can't feel a lot of their body. But a lot of the time we're quite in our heads and we can become quite disconnected from our bodies because it feels uncomfortable. A lot of the feelings, the emotions that we have can kind of manifest in our body. So it can feel like a place we don't want to be. We don't want to be in our bodies. So, be really curious as we go through the practice, what shows up for you? Is it really comfortable and reassuring and balancing to land in your body and land in your breath? Or does it make you aware of the unbalance? And either way, it's just something to be curious about. And if we can let go of the judgment, it can really help. So notice what you feel, notice what comes up for you, and then just be curious about the experience, and let me know how it is for you afterwards. So we will start, as I said, we'll just gently close down our eyes, and we're gonna start the week with a lovely dollop of calm. So closing down the eyes, just wherever you are right now, just finding a comfortable seat, because we want to be in that place between active and relaxed. There's only two instructions for you for this meditation. The first is posture. Find a space between active and relaxed. So not so relaxed that you're falling back to sleep, but not so rigid and active that it's tense, that there's tension in your body. And then the second instruction is about your mind. So if thoughts, when thoughts show up in our practice, just allow them to be there. Just notice and come back to what we're practicing. The only job you have is to notice when you've been distracted by thoughts, which is exactly what your mind is designed to do, is to throw thoughts in to hijack you. That's your mind's job, is it wants you to think. So when you notice you've been thinking, just come back to the practice without judgment. There's no good or bad or pass or fail. So feeling your feet on the floor, first of all, we'll start with our body, just to land and become aware of ourselves in this space that we're in. So feel your feet on the floor notice the feel of the chair or the bed underneath you if you're still sitting up in bed. Maybe notice that the chair supports your body, that you can let go just a little bit of the effort of holding yourself up, that your muscles can let go of a little bit of the tension that might already have crept in as you think about starting your week. And we'll take our attention to the very tips of the fingers. And if your mind's already distracted by thoughts or sensations or sounds, perhaps even the sounds of the birds where I am, just coming back to the body, noticing that you always have that choice when you notice to come back. So as you take your attention to the very tips of the fingers, just pay attention to the sensations there. And when we pay attention to the tips of the fingers, we sometimes notice a gentle tingling or buzzing in the fingers, like a vibration or tingling. Our nervous system is an electrical system. And at the very tips of the fingers, we can become aware of the signal, the electrical pulses of our fingers preparing for movement. It's like a conversation in our nervous system that we're tuning into. And if you don't feel any sensations in the fingers, that's okay too. Just pay attention and allow your attention to be there. And then noticing the toes, noticing whether you can feel sensation in your toes as well as your fingers as you pay attention. Just give it time for your awareness to open up to the toes. And as we think about balance, noticing that even within our body, there can be imbalance, that can feel things more in one side or the other. The different areas of the body seem more prominent. And allow your awareness to spread across the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet. Really allowing yourself to notice the weight of the feet on the ground and the weight of the hands in your lap. And allow that awareness to travel up the legs, the lower leg, the knees, the thighs, feeling the weight of each side of the body in the hips. So you can be aware of the legs together, but also how there's subtle differences in one leg or the other. Perhaps the weight sits just slightly differently on one side or the other. Or maybe there's just a slightly heightened awareness of one side more than the other. And with the hands now, we allow that awareness to travel up both sides of the body, the wrists and the forearms, and then the tops of the arms, so traveling up the biceps and the triceps and up to the shoulders, feeling the weight of the arms sinking down. And just as with the legs, notice that you can have both arms in your awareness, but you can also be aware of one side and then the other side, and maybe there's one side that's more prominent than the other. Is it the same side as the legs? Is there a balance shifting towards the right or to the left, or maybe it's different on each limb? And then noticing the chest and the torso as it travels down to the belly, linking the arms and the legs and the whole body. Your whole body in your awareness now. And if the mind wanders, just coming back and setting an intention to be right here. I'm exactly where I planned to be. There's nowhere else to go. There's nothing else to do. This is it. This moment is all that's real. Perhaps noticing the jaw and the face as we begin to turn towards the breath. And we'll try to be aware of the breath coming in through the nose. Wherever possible, we want to breathe through the nose. It stimulates nerves in our body and it sends neural signals that we are safe and we're okay. And just notice before we consciously action slowing the breath, just notice that the breath can happen on its own. That it's just rising and falling. You don't need to make it happen. The body's breathing and you're just watching and coming back anytime the mind wanders. And I'll guide you in 5 rounds of breath now, where we'll balance the in-breath and the out-breath so that we can cultivate balance in our body and our system. So as you breathe in, I'll guide you with a count of 4. And as you breathe out, I'll count you down with a count of 4. And we'll just repeat that to just gently balance the breath. And we'll focus on trying to breathe down the diaphragm, so feeling the belly rising and falling as you breathe. And if it helps to put a hand on the belly, you can do that. So we'll inhale through the nose. And before we start, see if you can do a slight whispering breath in the back of your throat. So allowing the breath to sound a little bit like this. Right? Almost like narrowing a hose. We're narrowing the airway to focus the breath. Now I did that through my mouth, but you can do it through your nose. I did it just so you could hear what I was doing. So breathing through the nose, we'll just do that whispering breath before we begin counting. I'm trying to stay relaxed with that. So we'll do those conscious breaths now. So breathing in through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then exhaling through the nose, 4, 3, 2, 1. And inhaling through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhaling through the nose, 4, 3, 2, 1. With that whisper breath, inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1, inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1, inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1, inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll do one last round. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. letting go and letting the breath return to its natural rhythm. Noticing, just as we did at the beginning with the breath, that the breath happens on its own, that we can make the breath do things, but also the breath can happen without our effort. We'll take some moments of silence just to allow the breath to come and go. And to finish our practice, we'll just take one more final, really slow, deep breath in through the nose. And sighing out through the mouth. Slowly returning movement to the fingers and the toes. And just noticing before you open your eyes if there's a little bit more of a feeling of balance in the body, or if you've become aware of unbalance. Seeing if you can consciously through the day just take occasional breaths where you just slow things down. And blinking open the eyes. And it seems that I might have lost signal on Facebook. So if that's the case, I'll post this video in there. And I hope that you can have a great Monday, and I will see you next Monday. And next Thursday and Friday, which is the 29th, no, sorry, Wednesday and Thursday. Hang on, get my dates. 29th and the 30th. I'm hosting on Tuesday the 29th in the evening, 8 o'clock, a free Ninja Mind Skills webinar where I'll be going through some of the science of how meditation works and giving you a whole host of skills and techniques that you can use straight away so that you can build the practice into your life. And I'll be doing the same session on the Wednesday at 1 o'clock. So look out for the details of those because I'd love to see you there. Take care, and I will see you soon.